All right, when it comes to finding a missing side length of a triangle, we can use our trig ratios of sine, cosine, and tangent to do that. So you have an example in your note packet here. It says a fire truck has an 84-foot ladder extended against a building. So you can see the fire truck is down here on the ground. Here's the building, and that ladder that reaches out and leans against the building is 84 feet. Okay, the angle that's formed when the ladder gets extended up, this angle down here is 55 degrees. It says the truck is 8 feet tall. So this distance from the ground up to where the truck is, when I make that triangle, I'm going a horizontal from the truck up to the building and the ladder. They're making a 90-degree or a right triangle. Now, notice that the truck is 8 feet off the ground. So we have to account for that in our story problem. It's not, the triangle is not made with the ground in this situation. It says the firefighters are trying to reach a window that is 75 feet above the ground. So from the ground all the way up here, that's 75 feet. It says, will they be able to reach the window using the ladder set at this angle? Now, there's some different ways to solve this. But what I would do is I would find the value of x within the triangle first. And we can use our trig functions. From that 55 degrees that I'm given, this side x is the opposite side to it. So this is opposite, and the ladder that they're using is the hypotenuse. So if you think of your trig formulas, is the sine, is the cosine, or the tangent the one that includes the opposite and the hypotenuse? Okay, well that's the sine. So I say the sine of 55 degrees equals the opposite length is x over the hypotenuse, which is 84. And I would go ahead and I would solve that equation. I'm going to grab a calculator. So we need to know what the value of the sine of 55 is. So I put 55 into my calculator, and I just hit the sine button, and I'm going to get a decimal. Okay, that decimal, you don't need to write it down, but that decimal is 0.8192. I'm going to put that over 1. Whoops. So I had the sine of 55 degrees is equal to x over 84. Okay, this was the triangle again. So we're trying to find this side length. Okay, so I'm putting down the sine of 55 from my calculator, and I put it over 1. It equals x over 84. So we're going to use cross products to solve this. So I'm going to end up multiplying. So I'm going to take that decimal times 84 and hit equals. Okay, and that's going to equal this product, which is 1 times x, which is just x. So x is equal to 68.8. Okay, I'm rounding it to the nearest tenth. I get 68.8. So this distance is 68.8. Now recall that the fire truck, this triangle is not going all the way down to the ground, whereas the window, which is 75 feet up, is being measured from the ground. So in addition to this side of the triangle, it said the truck was 8 feet off the ground. So we have to add these together. We have to say 68.8 and add it to 8. And I get 76.8. So this ladder is reaching up a distance that's 76.8 feet. So yes, it's going to be able to reach that 75-foot window. So you'd say yes here. Okay, and then on the next page of your packet, you've got one more example of finding a missing side length. It says the sun shines at a 60-degree angle to the ground. How long is the shadow cast by a 20-foot tall flagpole? So if I drew a picture of this, here's my flagpole. You know, the sun's out here, and it's hitting the flagpole, and it's creating a shadow. And that shadow is on the ground. Okay, so my triangle here is the flagpole itself, the sunlight, and the shadow on the ground is creating that right triangle. Okay, it says the 60-degree angle is to the ground, so it would be down here where the ground is and where the sunlight is. How long is the shadow cast by the 20-foot? This is 20 feet, and I want to know how long the shadow is. So when I look at these two in reference to the angle I'm given, this is the opposite side, and this is the adjacent side. Okay, so opposite and adjacent would be tangent, so I would say the tangent of 60 degrees is equal to the opposite is 20 over the adjacent is x. That's what I would set up. Okay, when I solve that, I'm going to hit 60 and then I'm going to hit my tangent button. Okay, I get a value of 1.7321 over 1. We always put this over 1 to create a proportion to where we can do the cross products. Okay, when I solve this, I'm going to end up taking that decimal times x. So I'm going to have 1.7321x equals this product, 1 times 20. Okay, how do you solve and get x by itself? Well, you're going to divide. You're going to take 20 and you're going to divide it by this decimal. So 20 divided by 1.7321 and hit equals. And I get 11.5. I'm going to round it, so x is equal to 11.5 feet. Okay, that shadow that's along the ground would measure from the base of the flagpole and be 11.5 feet out. Okay, so that's how you're going to set up and find a missing side length.